Hey guys, I'm Absol and welcome to another weekly Pokevlog. So first of all, I want to say I'm sorry for missing last week's vlog. And I'm sorry this vlog's 2 days late. I know I've been absolutely terrible. But there's a couple of reasons for this is because, first of all, I have my college exams coming up and my final end of year exams. So they're pretty important. I'm starting them next week, so I've got lots of revision and work to do towards them. And I've had lots of things going on in my life at the moment as well. Plus there's not been any news. So when there is news and there's new things, I will definitely make this vlog because I'll go out of my way and I'll bring the news to you. But when there's not any news, I have to think of other things to talk about, and when there's other things to talk about, it takes time and energy to put into it, which I don't have when I have exams and things. So that is why I've sort of missed the last 2 vlogs, despite this one being a bit late actually. So this vlog is actually here this week, but it's late, so I'm sorry about that. The third reason is if you can't hear my voice, I'm have a sort of slurred speech, which I'm trying to hide because I bit my tongue in my sleep a couple of weeks ago or a week ago or so, and it's been really sore because it's pretty bad biting in my sleep, and it's been pretty sore and pretty difficult to talk, so hopefully you can't hear that. But anyway, nonetheless, I do want to talk about some speculation this week about Pokemon X and Y. Now there is no news and no new information from Pokemon, nothing special or anything. But there's a lot of speculation, and a lot of new speculation has been arisen because you may have noticed quite over a while. There's been a lot of images piling up on the internet that are fake scans. People made them up just because they looked real and people believe them. And we've had even Mr. X and Y make everyone think that he has the whole list of the Pokemon, which he said he actually lied about. But what I noticed is the common trend between all the speculation. And now there's a lot of new scans that came out this week that can't be real scans because Heracross isn't scheduled to be released to the earliest people who get it next week. So I'm pretty sure they're fake, but they do have some interesting ideas because I guess all the ideas I've seen so far in Mr. X and Y, all these scans, quite a lot of other ideas that other people have posted who have claimed to be telling the truth, who actually were lying, they all sort of point into one direction, that the new Pokemon X and Y games are going to have evolutions and pre-evolutions of all the generations of Pokemon. Now, there does seem to be something to this, because if everybody's saying it, there must be some underlying evidence that there must be some pre-evolutions or evolutions of older Pokemon, because why would everyone come up with the same conclusion if it wasn't true? So I was looking through all the information and I couldn't find anything that sort of revealed pre-evolutions and evolutions, so I decided I would review all the pre-evolutions and evolutions and stuff that I've seen and see what they look like. But it does quite look like that we could be getting some pre-evolutions and evolutions of some of the Pokemon, so I'm going to go over them now. So here's the first one, an Absol evolution. So I know I've seen quite a few of Absol evolution ideas for the 6th generation of Pokemon, and it's been quite a common idea, so maybe there's something to it. First glance at it, it doesn't quite look like a Pokemon, it's more of like a Digimon style Pokemon. It really doesn't look like it would be something Pokemon would make. When you think about it, it's kind of like the style of Xerneas and Yveltal. So maybe it could possibly be a Pokemon, but if you look at the little game screen that's on the screen with it in the scan, you will see that the Absol evolution in it doesn't quite look right. It looks very sort of simple. It's got a style that doesn't have its shading quite right. It's definitely not Pokemon style. What it could be though is a prototype for the actual Heracross magazine that's coming out this coming month, which will make sense because it's kind of early stages, and the fact it would be posted at early stages with some early stage images would make sense, but I don't think that it would be what Pokemon will make. It doesn't look Pokemon styled. So what it could, and also the fact that the page is quite empty, and Heracross magazines are actually usually quite crammed with letters and words, and it's vibrant, but this was quite bland, so I really don't think this is a Heracross scan that's quite legitimate. But like I said, a lot of people have come up with the idea that Absol is going to have an evolution, so possibly it could be a good idea to follow through. So here we have a Jynx evolution. I think this is actually kind of old. It's been around for a while, not too old, but it's not a brand new thing that's come out this month. So it was actually allegedly one of the previous month's Heracross scans, and so we can sort of conclude this is kind of fake, but it does look quite realistic, I guess. It looks sort of real, sort of not real. I guess it probably arose because of the Nicki Minaj sort of thing mixed with Jynx, and because a lot of people started to relate Jynx to Nicki Minaj and sort of, oh, we can make Nicki Minaj into a Pokemon. It sort of looks like Nicki Minaj. I don't think this is going to be a Pokemon either. Sorry to hinder your excitement about it. but it really doesn't quite fit the Pokemon style. It looks more like a Pokemon than the Absol does actually. It looks more like a classical Pokemon and something that would fit in Pokemon X and Y a little bit better. But like I said, it is quite an old one, and that makes me sort of think that it isn't going to be a new Pokemon. Now here's a very interesting image. It's actually to do with the Heracross and Pinsir pre-evolutions, which Mr. X and Y hinted to. He said there was going to be a commercial showing the pre-evolutions of Heracross and Pinsir, and this sort of does look like that commercial would be. Now, Mr. X and Y admitted he was lying about what he posted, but he did post a lot of other things, and his basis for his lies was his ideas about the commercial. And now, maybe he wasn't lying about the commercial, maybe that was the actual truth, that possibly even the Pokemon Company contacted him, telling him, don't say this because you're revealing information, say it's a lie or whatever. It could be anything, but the fact that you can see this clearly at what looks like to be a TV screen or a computer screen or something, and the fact that it's not an edited picture sort of convinces you, but it could have been sort of fan-made and then put onto a TV and then recorded just for the believability of it, because it doesn't quite look something as professional as Pokemon would do, but it definitely could be sort of a picture taken from a screen in the Pokemon Company when they're making the trailer or whatever, but it does look quite realistic, because the fact is that a lot of people have come up with the idea of a pre-evolution Heracross and Pinsir, so that could just be down to Mr. X and Y making people believe him, or it could be a legitimate idea. So this one, I'm not quite sure whether it will be a Pokemon or not be a Pokemon. It would definitely make sense that these Pokemon get some pre-evolutions, because they are only single Pokemon on their own, they don't have any evolutions or pre-evolutions anyway, so it could be quite interesting to see pre-evolutions of these Pokemon, and I don't think it's impossible. So this next one I found really interesting. So it's an evolution of Sableye, and now in the corner you'll see sort of a red Genesect. It's on the side of a trailer thing for the red Genesect movie, the new Genesect movie, and it actually kind of looks like one of the old posters we had for the Genesect movie, so that makes you kind of get the idea that it might be edited in onto an old one and it's not a new thing. But what is really interesting about it is the fact that Sableye has already been suggested that it will be in the new movie, and the fact that they're bringing in a really old Pokemon, third generation Pokemon, into a new movie that's sort of introducing the new 6th generation is quite interesting. And the fact is that the evolution from Sableye into whatever its evolution is called kind of looks like how Mischievous evolves into Mismagius. Mismagius has quite a few similarities to this new evolutions of Sableye, and they are very similar Pokemon. So I'm thinking this isn't quite out of the woods, isn't out of the box that Pokemon would do this. It looks very similar, and once again, Sableye is a one-stage Pokemon only, and it has a very interesting thing that it doesn't have any weaknesses, and nothing to prevent against it because of its typing Dark and Ghost. So it'd be very interesting if Pokemon made an evolution for it and made it even stronger, although it would make it a very, very difficult Pokemon to beat, but it's very interesting and it does look very believable. So finally we have the starters, Chespin, Fennekin and Froakie, and now a lot of people have made up ideas for what the evolutions would be and what types to be, what they'd look like, and it's been a bit of speculation on the internet, because of course they are going to have evolutions, because all starter Pokemon do, and it'd be crazy if Pokemon did do that, so we are definitely expecting some evolutions. And now this looks very believable. This so far is the most believable image I have seen, and that is because the animation styles and the just what they look like in general definitely look similar to the first evolution, but also just generally it fits the Pokemon style and the new X and Y style. And now it is unsure whether these are the second evolutions or the first evolutions after the starters, so whether they are the second stage or the third stage. A lot of people think, well, the third stage, of course, because, you know, you'd show the two extremes, you wouldn't really show the middle one, because the middle ones don't tend to get that much attention, like Piplup and Empoleon get a lot of attention, but Primplup, so that Primplup doesn't get that much attention, because you don't have the cute or the powerful, so if you got the two extremes are the more popular ones. But these actually are sort of in between, because the final stages usually kind of look extravagant and very big and bold, and the middle stages tend to look sort of get into the big and bold bit, but not as big and bold, but a little bit cuter, but not as cute as the first evolution. But they are sort of somewhat simple, And the final evolution of Fennekin does look kind of simple, like it could possibly evolve again. But then again, it does look like it should have something in between. But we don't quite know. I personally would say the third evolution is just because of Froakie's evolution. It doesn't look quite extravagant. It would definitely fit to the final evolution form. Although in the past we have had sort of images showing us some the first evolutions, the second evolutions of some, the third evolutions and the first evolutions of others. They don't have to all be the same stage. So we don't quite know, but like I said, this looks very realistic, and I would definitely go for this being one that's most likely to be in the actual game. So the question of the week is, which do you think of the speculation of the images that I showed before? Do you think is most believable and most likely to actually be in the game? Now I say Fennekin, Froakie and Chespin evolutions because, well, they're probably going to be a very soon announcement. They're going to be something that's going to be announced pretty soon, and before a lot of the other information comes in, because these are the start Pokemon, and the start Pokemon are always the first information, so definitely these could be something, a picture taken from the next Core magazine or something like that, and which would be a really good thing. But they just generally look realistic, and they definitely look like they're acceptable as Pokemon, and I definitely like them to be real because they are pretty awesome. And now I do think the Sableye one would be pretty cool if it was real, but there isn't too much backing it. It does look right, but the fact that it's sort of next to a poster that's already been a poster that doesn't have that on it, it kind of makes me suspicious about it. But anyway, tell me what you think down below, and I want to say thank you for watching. Again, I'm so sorry about missing things. I will hopefully be back on schedule in a couple of weeks with all my videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.